to the call tonight. I mean, like I was just saying to some of you earlier, we're sitting on top of a hill at the bottom, looking out over Kangaroo Island in Cape Jervis. So we left Tim and Corinne's actually this afternoon. We were a bit late getting away. But we ended up, we thought we'll set up office down at Rapid Bay. Trev was up for a little adventure to refresh himself. So we found this beautiful spot at Rapid Bay, and Corinne, you were right, it's a gorgeous spot. Lots of campers, you know, we were able to get a spot just about right on the beach. It's just magic. But then, you know, we were pretty happy, set up our chairs and looked at our phones, and it was like, oh no.
Didn't work as well as we hoped.
Didn't work as well as we hoped.
We had to practice.
So anyway, we jumped in the car and thought we'll come for a drive, see if we can find a little hot spot with good Wi-Fi. So we spotted some phone towers. They're right beside us. You can probably see them there. And I was ready. I thought, if we don't get good service, I thought I'm going to send Trev up that tower. So, fortunately, so we're parked in the middle of nowhere, actually looking out over the ocean. And, you know, I mean, how awesome is it that technology allows us?
See too much.
Yeah, you can't probably see too much. It's a bit bright, but we're just about to have a magnificent sunset. And, you know, I mean, technology just never ceases to amaze me that we can build a business like this if you choose to. So yeah, we'll be heading back to Melbourne tomorrow. We had a fabulous weekend. We went to the New Year kickoff to check it out in Adelaide, and it was fantastic. And then we had an amazing team day. Tim and Corinne organised a workshop in a workshop. A literal workshop, you know, mechanics workshop for all you guys. It was probably dream building. And it was amazing because Tim and Corinne were super organised, and we, you know, we're excited. We drive to the venue and we see workmen there putting out signs, road closed. And it was like, oh my gosh. And so Tim chats to the workmen, and it works out that not only are they closing the road, they're actually turning off the power for the whole area. So, but you know what? I just take my hat off to all of us, and Tim particularly. What cool, calm and collected. So thank goodness Trev, you know what Trev's like, having all his gear in his car. He pulls the car up, he gets his car going, they plug the power into Trev's car. Still managed to have the computers and things and innovated and speakers, and we had a fabulous day. We were not stopped, were we, Tim? Nope. It was like, you know, so sometimes you're just throwing obstacles. It's like, I was quite surprised how calm we all were, because at first it was like, oh no. But yeah, it was a fantastic day. So thank you, Tim, thank you, Corinne, and all you guys in Adelaide. We just love hanging with you. So, you know, technology again, I ducked out of the meeting at, 4 and zoomed in to another team meeting that was going on, similar type thing, up at George and Eileen's in Rockhampton. So, again, I was able to zoom in, just chat with them, see them, send them love, send them, a bit of encouragement. And again, like, how awesome is that? So, guys, it's so worth it. So I'll hand you over, Trev, while we've still got good range. It's all good.
Okay, what I want to do just quickly is George posted this video the other day on our Facebook page, but I just wanted to play it because we played it at the weekend, and it's a good little video that the company's come up with recently. It really is. So we'll just bear with me here while we get this sorted. But, we can change your life in 2018. There's no doubt about that. No doubt about that whatsoever. And, I mean, it was fantastic to go along with the Adelaide function and just see some of the people there that are, having great success and moving ahead. And it doesn't matter where they're at, where they're coming from. But the big key is they've actually all decided what it was that they wanted. And then they've taken action and they've decided, what they were prepared to do. And that was contact a lot of people, share it, and start building the business and pay the price. And what gets me so fired up is you see other people doing it. We can all do it. There's no doubt about that. No doubt about that at all. And this new little video the company put out, it's just on the products, only goes for 2 minutes, but I think it's very, very good. So just have a quick look at this. So anyway, I thought that was pretty cool. And then just quickly here, quickly reminder for next week's Melbourne NYKO. And there's links to that on our teamfsi.net website, on the Facebook page, on the Business Builders Facebook page, right? We'll put that up again as well. And that's going to be a great weekend. There's no doubt about that. I mean, the unbelievable part about it is you pay the $40 to go along, and they'll end up giving you an $87 bottle of isogenesis.
Mm.
So you sort of make $47 just by attending.
Should pay for your car park.
Yeah. More than that, because I mean, it'll be no problems at all over there in the casino. It's not that it doesn't cost that much over there.
Yeah.
And so that's all we've got to park over there. But it'll be a great day, no doubt about that. And so guys, it's a matter of focusing. But what we want to do now is we're going to get George Marquess to share. Just quickly.
Yeah, George, he's just been doing such an amazing job. You'll notice, George is such an amazing team player. He's always popping posts up and sharing things, and he's just like an Energizer bunny. It must be that Schrader fitness training. He just pops up all the time, George. And I really just want to really thank you for being such a great team player. And George really took it on board. When I talked about having in-home meetings and the invitations and, just getting it into your homes, as soon as possible. A lot of people sort of committed to that, and George put it into action. He set a date, and so I just wanted George to share what he did to get that, because it was a great night. I said to Trevor I'd be happy for anybody to go to that night, whether I was there or not. He just rolled it out. He had the right products out displayed. He just did it, and it just worked so well, didn't it, George? It was a great night. So just explain, if you can explain to people what you did to prepare for that. Yeah. And just what happened on the night. It just ran so beautifully. I was so proud of you. I really was. So
cool. Thanks, Linda. Yeah, okay. So to prepare for it, the first thing from listening to Linda's webinar a few weeks ago when she said, hey, in the new year, we all need to set dates and try and have in-homes and get it going. And I've done lots and lots of one-on-ones. I've sponsored a heap of people in this business, but it hasn't actually grown through. And when we used to do a previous business, it used to grow a lot from doing the in-homes and whiteboard presentations. So we don't need to do whiteboards in this. But the first thing I did was set a date.
Yeah.
And by actually setting a date, then that'll crystallize everything for me. And thinking, okay, well, now then I need to follow it up with an action plan. And basically it comes back to another part of the reason why I set the date. I don't know if you guys can see this, but that's $14,500 cash. Okay. And that comes back to Trevor's seminar from the week before that. And basically setting a goal of what you can actually see, and $14,500 cash coming in as an income. I thought I need to actually increase the activity rate and make my business very profitable so that I can generate that sort of income. So I set the date, and then I sent a message to Linda and said, I've set this date. Can you come along and support me? And again, I'm fully confident doing the presentation. I've done the numbers and everything else before, but what I wanted Linda to do was actually talk to my people who haven't been able to do another function, but for them to actually see the in-home part. Because again, the relationships are so much built in the in-homes.
Yeah.
So again, took a whole heap of the people that I've introduced, and some of them came back online. Some of them are actually looking now under the new Welcome Back program of actually doing something as well. So there's all sorts of different things in there. And I think out of my team, I think we had 5 of my own team turn up, and we had 2 prospects. So like in the prospects, what I did was I actually found that I live in a court, and there's 26 houses in the court. And I found that I hadn't met most of those neighbours before. And I heard from some of my friends who went to the function in Brisbane, apparently the speakers there, one of them was the neighbour of the other speaker. And so they said, we encourage you to actually go and talk to your neighbours. So I went around all our neighbourhood saying hi to people. And there's quite a few people, most of them know what I do. And so quite a few of them outright just said, no, not interested. But a couple others said, oh yeah, that'd be interesting. I'd like to have a look at that. And one of those actually turned up, which was great. And the others I've got one-on-ones to do with over the next couple of weeks, which is fantastic. But again, because I've been using, like when I started the program with Trev, which is now 27 months ago, something like that. And this is a little plug, 23 months under 80 kilos. So yeah, that's a lot missing. But when I started on the President's Pack. And so with the President's Pack, you've got all the products. So at the time I said to Linda, I said, how do you use the products? And she showed me how to write on the lids of the products and things like that. So what it is, every time I've turned over the products, I add them to my supply of display products. And so I've actually got a permanent display in my lounge room, which shows all the products. So again, that was really easy to have them there and have people to have a look at them when they came in the door. And then the other one is the samples. Like our bars are just so good, and I love them. Shane tells me I eat too many of them, but that's a different issue. As far as I'm concerned, I'm in maintenance mode. I'm not in I'm not in weight loss mode at the moment, but that's okay. So all I did was I set up a platter. In the center of it with just some nuts in there, and then I just chopped up one of the Decadents, one of the choc cream crisp, one of the lemon bars. And the interesting thing was most of the guys who turned up had never tried the lemon bar, and they've ordered that this week, so that's good. And then just chopped up 2 of the Ice and Delights. And then when Linda turned up, she brought her own supply of bar, so it was really cool. So, and there was a secret one in the supply that Linda brought. So I encourage you to invite Linda to come to your in-house, because you might get a secret bar.
That's right, a mystery bar.
there was a mystery bar in the pack, but luckily for me, I didn't find that until after I chopped up the bars for everybody else. So I got to have it for myself. Yes,
you deserve it.
So I encourage you to invite Linda to come along to your session if she's in your state or local. But it's all good. And so again, when everyone arrived, it was interesting because I got as you always do, you always get a couple of calls from people who were absolutely definite they were going to come, and they've given me the calls. And sometimes I just don't answer before an in-house, but 2 of them I actually wanted to speak to specifically, and one he couldn't make it because he had to go to a kids swimming thing, but he's now interested, and without actually seeing that full part of that presentation, he wants to see the whole range and get going. So that's cool. And one other person, I'm just going to get back to it another time.
Yeah.
So at that, I thought, oh no, people aren't going to turn up. But then, as I don't have a front doorbell, by the way, and so as we're watching around, then people started coming in, and then I got a message from Linda saying, oh, I'm lost. And so that's okay. We've got everyone there. Fine. And then everyone came in, had a look at the products in the product display. And we sat, just general chit chat. And I think we got to we said it was 7 o'clock start. And so probably about 10 past 7. Everyone that I thought would become was coming, and then 2 more people came after that. So it was okay. It was even better. But sat down, I did a test run of the video because I actually ran, so I used the longer video now.
The full story.
Yeah, the full
story.
No, it's not on the link, not the full story.
Better Health and Financial Opportunity.
Better Health and Opportunity .pro video. And so basically, just sat down, started playing that, and it got to the point where it says the 3 different areas that you'd have an interest in. So stopped the video there, asked everybody what their interest was, and everyone answered that question. One person answered differently to how I was expecting, so that was cool. So took notes on that. And then played the rest of the videos through, got through the part where it goes to there's no real retirement plan in Australia from that video from the news report or whatever it was. And so it says interest there, and then continued through to the end, the incomes and things. Oh, actually, no, got to the point where it talked about making the extra income. So we stopped and asked everyone what they'd do with the extra $300, $600 as extra incomes to go through. And again, as always, really interesting that most of the people hadn't thought about it. All right. And so then we went back through it and got some ideas. And so by having more in-houses, we'll be able to help people actually get that more concentrated in their minds, which will be pretty cool. And then got to the end. And at the end, then one of the people got right with Linda and had lots of questions for Linda. The boys asked me questions about the product range and things like that. And we just had general chit chat afterwards. It was really good.
Yeah. It was a great night, wasn't it? I mean, really, it was under an hour, the whole presentation.
Yeah.
And it just ran so smoothly because you did stop and interact. So it sort of broke it, didn't it?
Yeah.
It just ran so smoothly. One of the things that I noticed, George, was, you know, the few people that came that were already in, particularly, I think, is Andrea on the call tonight? Andrea, it really excited her because it gave her belief that, you know, you could do that, more of these together, wasn't she? And using the invites were really big for Andrea. She, you know, now whether you use this one or you've got one of your own, what the comment was that she had been looking for something that she could have in her hand, an invite to give to people, and it gave her the confidence to then, you know, set another date with George, and she would get to work to get some of those invites out. But the other thing, those, you know, your friends that were sitting behind me on the couch, your jet ski buddies, I mean, George has got so many jet ski buddies. I turned around, they went, great video at the end of the presentation. Trev does a great job. And I turned around and said, don't you just love it that anybody can press play and show this to people? And they all comment, I know, it's so good, isn't it?
Yep.
You know, guys, it works. It works. It's just like George said, setting the date, being consistent with it then. That's going to be key, isn't it, George? Like setting another date and then doing it again. Yeah.
So I was trying to work out, I'm trying to slide it. I'd like to try and slot another one in this week, but I don't think it's going to work because I thought if I can get the slot in here, then it also re-promotes Saturday, but I don't think it's going to work on Saturday and then Tuesday next week. Yeah. But a couple of the keys is that Tim put up the video by Jim Rohn a few weeks ago on averages. And one of the comments there is what Jim Rohn says is that his averages, or when you start, you might be introducing 1 in 10 and then 2 in 10. And then once you become really good, you get 3 in 10.
Yeah.
And that's just an averages out there. So again, I did quite a bit of work beforehand, but in reality, all I just needed to do is step it up some more and there would have been more people. So again, I've got lots of one-on-ones, but what I want to try and do is plug people into the in-home and so that they can get more of the relationship with the people. But it's as Trev keeps talking about, it's a numbers game and it's just play. So again, the more numbers that we do, and then the others looked around and they said, well, actually, we could have had some people here as well. Yeah. So that'll be the next one, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, next time they'll be happy to actually bring people along because it was a great night. George did a fantastic job, just kept it really simple, you know, with the bars just cut up and some replenish at the end. Just used the tools, had the products that, you know, on display. So, you know, we had business builders and product users there. Yeah. So it works. It just works. So thank you so much, George. And, you know, I'm happy. Yeah.
Just a couple of things. Again, on the numbers and with talking with people, basically, Trev gave me the video or the CD for Eric Warre, he's Network Marketing Pro, at the seminar back in October, I think it was, or maybe before then. And I've listened to that. I probably listen to that every day, and it's just going through it. And he's one of his main lines is, "If I would you." And so what I've been doing with a lot of people is saying, if I send you a link to our new product video, would you check it out? Would you click through and check it out?
Yeah.
Okay. And by doing that, and a lot of people go, yeah. And so what I actually then do is I actually send them the opportunity video. And then if I'm doing it through Facebook Messenger, you can see when they've clicked on it. If they've clicked on it, I go, oops, I meant to send you the product video. So then they've got
very clever.
It is. It's very clever. And then as a further follow-up, then you can use the third one, which is the complete presentation.
Yeah.
So that they get to see the whole lot and the income come together. But and again, two things there is the promotions we've got going at the moment. So we've got the summer promotions, which are 20% off on the 2 Isogenesis, or the golden ticket promotions, the 2 Isogenesis and the Cleanse for Life and a Way Thins.
Yeah.
Those 2 offers are 20% off. So
yeah. They're good deals, aren't they?
Awesome deals.
We had one of our guys, Matt, who won a golden ticket, and he got a golden ticket for events, Isogenics events for the whole year.
How good is that? That is
for the whole year. Every Isogenics event for the whole year. That was on his golden ticket. How awesome is that?
Absolutely, yeah. and the other promotion is the summer promotion, which is of actually getting runs on the board and getting people sponsored straight away. And I'm going to get the numbers wrong. I think it's if you introduce 5, you get $200. If you introduce 8, you get $500. If you introduce 10 or 12, it's $800. But if you also then go to celebration, you get another $200.
Yes.
And I thought when I saw that promotion, I thought that's really strange. And just one quick thing, and I'll jump off. But Eric Warre did a presentation on Saturday, and his final bit is he says, how about you set your goal of sponsoring 20 people in 30 days? I thought, my God, I've done 10 people in 30 days. I've never done 20. And then, but his final bit is work out how much it would be worth to you if you did it. And his first points were, okay, incoming product introductory bonuses. So if you introduce 20 people in 30 days, then you're going to be getting double PIBs. And if each of those people gets a premium pack, then $80 from each of those people doubled is $160. So you get 20 times 160. So you get $3,200. How much of a difference would that make to you guys?
Yeah.
In the next month, $3,200 extra income.
Just in your PIB.
I've got to reset my goals. And then there's all the other bonuses that'll kick in as well. So anyway, they were the exciting things I've been doing.
That's fantastic. Well, set some more dates.
So for those of you guys who are in the Melbourne area, we're in Cheltenham. We'll be doing another one here on Tuesday night next week. And that'll be a pretty pumped up one because we'll all be coming straight out of NYKO.
That's great.
If you've got people over here, PM me for the address details, and we'll look after them for you.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. Thanks, George.
Thanks so much, George.
I'll come along on Tuesday. Definitely. I'll bring you another surprise. So, So definitely contact me if you can't get on to George, and we'll give you the details. So I'll give you over to Trev, and Tim's got some amazing stuff to share tonight too. So
so thanks, George. I really appreciate that, mate.
Much. Yeah.
And Timmy Dwyer introduced a new program that, he sent me the information on it way back in early December sometime. And anyway, I'll hand it over to Tim now because he did a great job in promoting it, and he's even got more stuff there to do now. And but it's absolutely fantastic. So I'll hand over to Tim. And thanks, Tim.
Alrighty. Thanks, Trev. Thanks, Linda. Thanks, George. Appreciate that. That's all good. Well, yeah, we did have a great weekend this weekend, and our workshop at the workshop was quite unique without electricity, and we've put a couple of photos up on the Team FSI Facebook page, so you get a bit of a look at see how the workshop looked. One of the things we did was, as Trevor mentioned, I came across some material way before Christmas, because Trevor was going through, and we've all watched the Jimmy Smith stuff, right? Over, that Jimmy Smith UK call. And Linda put out the 7-day challenge. If you watch this for 7 days. And so we all got stuck into watching that. And then Trevor had some Napoleon Hill material, the 2-hour one, and then the affirmations one. And we watched that a heap of times. And it's brilliant, brilliant material. And I do love the older material, the wisdom that comes out of some of this stuff. And I was sort of running through YouTube, and I came across this young lad, and he had a thing there, Napoleon Hill's Dirty Little Secret. And I thought, oh, what? Like, who cares? Like, I'm not into that stuff. Who wants to know somebody's dirty little secret? And I didn't pay any attention to it. And a couple of days later, I was going through YouTube again, and there was that clip again. And I'm a great believer that if you get a hunch, you've got to follow the hunch. That little voice inside saying, hello, have a look at me, right? And so I clicked on it, and I watched it, and I thought, holy moly. And then I followed this link and went through the material. Then I downloaded the audio book on it, and I listened to the audio book, and it was 10 hours audio book, and it was staggering, absolutely staggering, a Napoleon Hill book that hardly anybody's ever read. And yet the information was just mind-blowing. I just couldn't get my head. It was doing me in. I mean, I was getting expansion headaches. And so what I want to do is I want to share some stuff with you. So let me share the screen and go to there and go here. Come on, there we go. Now, Trevor has always said that building a network is just a mind game, right? Now, we've read material. Some of us have listened to thousands of tapes. We've been to seminars infinitum, and, we hear it over and over again. You've got to get your thinking right. You've got to get your thinking right. I heard someone say a long time ago, it is the nature of the thought that alters everything. It is the nature of our thoughts that alter everything. And then there was that book, The Secret, and it was all the secret, it was all about how to get your thinking straight. But most people who read the book still can't get their thinking straight. And then As a Man Thinks, So Is He. Another brilliant book, right? As a Man Thinks. And then we all know that the power of life and death resides in the tongue. Now, we can't speak anything unless it first be a thought. And so it comes back that everything we do is just a mind game. And then Corinne came up with this. She found it somewhere. What I say to myself, I hear. What I hear myself say, I know to be true. Now think about that. What I say to myself, I hear. What I hear myself say, I know to be true. Now that's good or bad. That's negative or positive. Right? And with this Napoleon Hill stuff, I'm just going through it, and it's blowing my mind. And so what happens is we've got to understand Napoleon Hill's book, Think and Grow Rich, that was written in the 30s, published in the 30s. And in 1908, he had an interview with Andrew Carnegie. Now, Andrew Carnegie, in today's dollars, was worth $372 billion. 372 billion. So the bloke wasn't broke. Now, he did come to America as a Scottish migrant, right? He came out of Scotland, and in 1848, he started work as a telegrapher. And by the 60s, he had investments in railroads, sleeping cars, bridges, and oil derricks. And so when we think about that interview that Napoleon Hill had with Andrew Carnegie in 1908, and that interview lasted 3 days, and Carnegie explained to Napoleon Hill what the philosophy was and how it all came about. And so what happened was Napoleon Hill then went and interviewed all these other people for the next 20 years, and then he brought that material together, and he wrote a couple of books before he wrote Think and Grow Rich. Now, Think and Grow Rich is the #1 book Napoleon Hill ever wrote, and everybody raves about Think and Grow Rich. But what Think and Grow Rich does, it smidges across, it just smears across the philosophy. It mentions the philosophy, it mentions points of the philosophy, but it doesn't go in and really open up and expand the philosophy. Can you imagine what it would have been like if you could transport yourself back into Andrew Carnegie's house, sit there with a recorder, and record that 3 days of interview with him and Napoleon Hill and have it to listen to? Now, you've got to understand, this information, although was given to Napoleon Hill in 1908, this information was being used in 1848 to enable Carnegie to amass his fortune. So 1848, we're going to call that 1850 for the ease of numbers, through to 1950, that's 100 years, right? 1950 through to 2000, that's 150 years. So it's 168 years. This information has been there, being put to use by the extreme wealthy people, by the people who understand that they really have to have a proper philosophy, and not just have a proper philosophy, but they have to understand it and they have to know it, and it has to become part of who they are. And so what happens is that interview, as I said, Napoleon Hill in 1908, he came up with this book, and it was published in 1937. And yet, as good a seller as it was, it missed the mark with all the absolute expanded knowledge of what Carnegie was trying to get across to him. So in 1953, Napoleon Hill introduced this book, How to Raise Your Own Personal Salary. It didn't sell well because Think and Grow Rich had just told everybody you don't want a job, you want to be an entrepreneur. You want to work for yourself. You don't want a job. And here he has got a book, How to Raise Your Own Salary. If I'm reading his material, why the heck would I want a salary? I want to work for myself. I don't want a job. I don't want a salary. And so nobody much bought it. Didn't sell well at all, which is a great shame. Had it had a different name, it would have been mind-blowing. The sales of that book would be just stupendous. Absolutely stupendous. And so this book is what I sent to Trevor to have a listen to on a YouTube clip that went for 10 hours. So Trev had to listen to it. Trev didn't sleep well. Trev was up early, in bed late. but he said nobody's going to sit there and listen for 10 hours. So what Trevor did was he broke down that entire book into 18 chapters. And when you look, okay, develop a definitive purpose. You've heard Trev talk about that. If we're not focused on what we want to achieve, I can guarantee you it's not probably going to happen. We've got to get a little bit focused. Develop an attractive personality. These chapters in here aren't just fancy titles. He goes ahead and explains how to do it, why to do it, what happens when you do it, and what happens when you don't, right? Use, where am I? Where's my mouse? Go the extra mile. I love this. Do more than you're ever paid for, and then you'll be paid for more than you've ever done, right? Organize your thinking. Organize your thinking. How do I do that? And he explains how to organize your thinking. Learn from defeat. I mean, we've all suffered defeat. We've all suffered from defeat, right? Learn from it. It's not a defeat. Control your attention. Sometimes people are out there trying to build a network, trying to build your business, and what's happening is that you're like Ricochet Rabbit. Oh, look at this over here. Oh, look at that pretty thing over there. Oh, I'll go and do this over here. No. Control your attention. This is brilliant, brilliant, brilliant stuff because it expands all this information. It teaches us how to do this. Down here where it says, make health a habit, you got to understand this interview was done in 1908 and it's the material he was using in 1850. And what he said was, if you want to be healthy, you've got to eat good, clean food and throw the junk out of your medicine cupboard. In 1850, he's talking about nutrition. And guess what else? In 1850, they were talking about cleansing. Think about that. Think about that. This one down here, you will not believe how powerful this is. But the good news about this is we're only ever going to get it one chapter at a time. You only got to get it one chapter at a time. Trev's got an autoresponder set up that you're going to, if you go on to Team FSI Business, there's a link there that you're going to be able to go in, put your details in, and every 2 days for 36 days, you will get a chapter. Now, please, please, do not just blaze through it and go, yep, listen to that one, listen to that one, listen to that one. No. Go in. It's not there for you to listen to. It's there for you to become a student of. Pay attention. Because what happens here is this. There's a principle that says wherever two or more are gathered of a like mind, there is enormous power there. There is great power. And whenever 20 or more are gathered and we're all thinking the same, we're all talking the same language, there is great power that'll take us all in a direction. And when there's 40 or 50 of us all listening to this material, all understanding and getting that expansion, and we're all doing the same thing, we're all building an isogenics business, we're all talking the same language, our thought processes run the same, there is enormous energy and power there. And when there's a couple of hundred of us doing this, it will become an absolute cosmic force. It will be unstoppable. You will be the foundation people of a movement that the history of multi-level marketing will talk about, and they'll come down and they'll ask, how did this happen? How did this happen? And it's real simple. It happened because this man here started off in 1848, built an empire worth billions of dollars, shared his knowledge with this man in 1908, and he condensed all that down, and he then, in 1953, put it in a book. And with today's technology, we now have a recording, and it's the narrator introducing each chapter, and then these two people talking. It's Napoleon Hill asking Andrew Carnegie, well, Mr. Carnegie, when you talk about a definite purpose, would it be right to say, sir? And away he goes. And then Andrew Carnegie comes back and says, yes, young man, I think you've now got the concept that I'm trying to get across to you. Right? And so there's this conversation going on. And it's like you're in the room in 1908 and you've brought this knowledge through into the world today. And I'll say it, I believe this information was lost almost and hidden for us, for this time, for now. Because quite frankly, not just the networkers, but our family, our friends, everybody that we care about needs to know these principles. These are, they're not just principles. These are fundamentals of life that will literally change every life that grasps the fundamentals. Can you imagine your business growing exponentially because of the like-minded people? And I'll come back to what I started with at the start. Flick back up here. It is the nature of the thought that alters everything. It is the nature of the thought that alters everything. When you know how to think, not just what to think, but how to think so as that you put yourself in a synergistic position with dozens and dozens and hundreds of other like-minded people, what sort of power, what sort of energy, what sort of life result can we get? You might be getting the hint here. I'm just a bit fired up about this. I don't want to use the word game changer because that's not the right word. This is beyond being a game changer. If Team FSI can get their head around this and listen to it and go over and over and over it, and when you've finished listening to it, listen to it again and listen to it again, because there's so much knowledge in here. You're never going to get it all on the first run through, and you're not going to get it all on the second run through. It is that powerful. But can you imagine what it's going to be like when we've got this many clear thinking people headed in a definite direction with a clear understanding of who they are, what they're capable of? Guys, this, I think, is going to get real exciting, real fast. And look, if you miss a day or two, don't shoot yourself in the foot. Pick it up, go again, right? It'll come to every second day. You'll get a link every second day and listen to it. Now, if, as it comes through on my link when Trev sends it to me, it doesn't open up on that email, what I've got to do is I've got to go through to forward that email and then put my cursor at the end of the address, hit the tab button, and then the link becomes live. That's just on mine. It might not happen on yours. I'm not sure. But if that's the case, that's all you've got to do. Then it goes live, and then you can just click on it, and you've got it. And it is just brilliant. It certainly is just awesome. And look, Trevor, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you 1,000 times a thank you for the work you did in putting that back down into bite-sized, usable pieces. Because And I think this is another reason why a lot of people haven't watched that whole video. There's been a lot, but not a lot. Because it's 10 hours. Who the heck's going to sit down in the chair for 10 hours? Trevor's smart enough to understand that, George will, Trevor's smart enough to understand that, okay, our attention span's not all that great, so it's down into about 20-minute sessions, 30-minute sessions. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. It's a usable tool. And so I just encourage you all to go on to Team FSI, register for that link, and let's get about it, guys. Let's get about it. It's time. It's time to get serious. This is 2018. You know, the century's almost gone again. Like, come on, let's rock it up a bit. It's just, we're going to do it. We're going to do it. So this is, I hope, a tool that'll help you. I know it's helped me. It's helped me immensely. I can't tell you what a difference it's made to me, but it has helped me so much. And so I just encourage all of us to get in there and do that. So I'll just stop sharing the page.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Tim, you know, it just helped me so much. And that's why, you know, when you sent me that link and I looked at it and watched the whole video to start with, I mean, I didn't go through the full 10 hours, but then I went through again each section. I've been going through it again and again and again since. But it was a result of that, you know, definite and a purpose one where I end up sitting down and listening to what he was saying again and again and again. And that's when I came up with that roadmap, you know, the roadmap to success. Because in the end, I'm looking at it and saying, okay, well, you know, what was his definiteness of purpose? And what's ours? And so on. And so, and, you know, and develop, there's just so many, every chapter there is full of nuggets. And that's what hit me. I mean, a lot of it is covered in other books and so on. No doubt about that. But to have it all there just in the one video is phenomenal. And I just love the way they do it, you know, with the guy, you know, narrating the start of each chapter, and then you hear, you know, Napoleon Hill asking the questions, Mr. Carnegie, and away it goes, right? And just to sit there and listen to these things, and the number of times I go back and replay it, because he covers so much. And I've gone ahead now and bought the book as well, right? I had that shipped in, and yeah, because I just figured it's just absolutely phenomenal. It really is. Anyway.
Thank you, Tim.
Thanks, mate. That was absolutely awesome.
Awesome.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. And I just hope it helps everybody on the call and everyone in their team, because we are a team, and it doesn't matter, you know, what side, where we are in the country. We've all got the one purpose, and that's to build a massive Team FSI.
Yeah. Yeah, and
the link's on the Facebook
The link's
page.
on the Facebook page. It's already up there, right? So the link's already up there on the Team FSI Business Builders Facebook page. So you can find it there, click in, put in your name, your email address, and then you'll get an email back, and you just got to click on it. And yeah, and the question here from Richard is, are the links downloadable? Yeah, you can download it. They're just on a YouTube, so you can use savefrom.net to download it. I know Bob Pooley's been doing that, and so they've been saving them on their phone or their computer or whatever. I've got them all saved on my phone as well, so I can just play them all at any time. But it's fantastic, guys.
Yep. So, and I just really encourage you, if you've got people in your team that were not able to make it on the call tonight, you know, sometimes people are working or have got commitments. Just make sure that you get this recording out. We'll get the recording up between Tim and Trev. Get this recording out to them and make sure they get the link to this if they want to participate in it. It's an amazing program, and I truly believe it's going to help you in every area of your life. Every area of your life. This isn't just about building an isogenics business. This is about being successful in life, having great relationships, you know, being able to steward finance as well, being able to build, being able to, you know, be an influencer out there amongst people. You know, this is the whole package. So Tim, thank you so much. I just love the way you can tell Tim's passionate about it, can't you guys? He's very passionate, and I know, you know, Trev's been just saturating himself. I've only just started the program, and it's amazing. But I have to share just before we head off tonight. Whilst we've been on the Zoom, we've had 2 lots of workers pull up beside us and wondering what the heck is this car doing on the top of a hill in the middle of nowhere. And I had to jump out the car and explain to them, it's okay, we're not parking, we're actually doing a national meeting and we need good internet. So, it's quite funny. So you know, guys, if you want to do something bad enough, you'll find a way. So we've made it to the end. Thank you, Tim, for just stepping in. It was short notice we gave Tim tonight. So, you know, thank you. You know, we've just got the best team ever, just stepping in and covering each other. And guys, we just all want to encourage you, cheer you on, and do what we can to help. So yeah, thanks, Lisa. It is a privilege for us to have all you as you know, just fellow, you know, partners.
Absolutely.
And we see that we're partnering together. We really are. And I just think, yeah, we've got an awesome team. So have a great night, Tim and Corinne. You can have the rest of the night off. We'll drive down the hill, and hopefully our caravan's still there. And
I'm sure it is.
And enjoy the beach. And we'll be back in Melbourne, all you Melbourne peeps, tomorrow night. We'll be at New Year kickoff on Saturday. And George, I'm pretty sure I'll be able to come next Tuesday night again. And yeah, so if you've got anyone in the Cheltenham area, definitely send them along to George, contact George or myself. And if you've got meetings going on and you need some support or help, just reach out. Even if you're just looking for someone in your area, we might be able to match you up with someone that can help, and you can do it together. So have a great night. Hopefully we won't get arrested tonight. We have been told we're trespassing, but that's all right.
Oh, I knew that.
He knew that. Yeah, we'll say good night now. Stop the recording, Tim. Thank you.
Bye. Thanks, guys. I'll stop the recording.